Today we move to a little bit about a few questions about type 2 error. So, do you remember that type 2 error, the probability of type 2 errors will be equal to the probability of you accept H naught, right? Okay, so if you accept H naught when H1 is true, okay, or you accept H naught when H naught actually is not true, okay, so you will play around on the question that given, so you have to be flexible on the sentence that given, okay. So the major part is you accept H naught, so the probability of type 2 error. Now we proceed to the question 1 for today. Okay, question 1. Number of server floods per year in a certain country over the last 100 years has followed a Poisson with a mean 1.8. The scientists suspect that global warming has now increased the mean. A hypothesis test at 5% level is to be carried out to test this suspicious. The number of server flood X that occurred next year will be used for the test. It show that the rejection region for the test is X larger than 4. But to find the probability of making type 2 error if the mean number of server flood is actually 2.3. Okay. So question 1. So before you start, you need to set your parameter or something lah. They want to test has increased the mean, so larger. So this is these are the hypotheses that you need to set. Okay, once you set your hypothesis, so then now you can start to find the critical region. So part 1 that says show the critical region for the test is X larger than 4. So now we need to find the probability of X larger than 4 first. Okay, so and you need to calculate the values. Okay, until 1.8 power of 4 factorial. Okay, so once you have this, you can simplify the calculation by keying all the exponential in your calculator, and you should get 0.03640. And this is smaller than 0.05 because they want you to test 5% of significant level. Once you have this, you know that px larger than 4 is in the critical region. Means start from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until infinity is in the critical region. But you cannot say that this is the critical region already. So you need to test one more step, see what happens. So in order to confirm that this is the critical region already, so now we proceed to one more step. So the next step will be px larger equal to 4. So we need to include the 4 at this time. Right. So you should put the values for that. Okay, so you should get 0.1087 for this question. So you can see that this one is larger than 0.05. Just now that one is smaller than 0.05. So this no longer inside the critical region anymore. So in this situation, you can say that since px larger equal to 4 larger than 0.05, not in a critical region, so px larger than 4 is the rejection region. Right, so these chapters are that you always need to put the final statement to conclude the your fighting, right? So once you conclude the fighting, then you can proceed to the next one. So part 2. Find the probability of making type 2 error if the mean number of server floods is now actually 2.3. So type 2 error will be equal to you accept, right? So when you will accept, question not. So refer to the previous question. You reject will be larger than 4. You accept will be p x equal to 4. Opposite direction. So then now the lambda is 2.3. So you can calculate the 2.3. Until 2.3 power of 4 over 4 factorial. So by calculation, you should get 0.916, right, for this question. Okay, so this is for question 1. The step is a similar just compared to Z test, you need to find the probability. So Z, you only use the Z value to test. This discrete test, you always need to find the probability from the end. Okay. So question 2. Question 2. Joanne thinks that. Sorry, question 2 is in a certain city, it is necessary to pass a driving test in order to allow to drive a car. The probability of passing the driving test at the first attempt is 0.36 on average. A particular driving instructor claims that the probability of his students passing a first attempt is higher than 0.36. Random sample of 8 show that 7 pass at first attempt. Carry out an appropriate hypothesis test to test the driving instructor claims using a significant level of 5%. Part 2, in fact, most of his random sample happen to be careful, sensible drivers. State which type of error in the hypothesis in type 1, type 2 error could have been made in the circumstances. Find probability in the type of error when the sample is used for the test. Okay, for part 1. Question 2. We set the parameter first. Hypothesis. Right. And question is asking you to you found 7 pass the first attempt, so and you need to test the larger side, so you need to test the upper tail at 5% significant level. So now we proceed to test the upper tail. So px larger equal to 7 will be px equal to 7 plus px equal to 8. And you have a 8C7 0.36 7 0.641, then plus the 8C8, then you can 0.36 here. Okay, and once you calculate this, you will get 0.004294. So you compare to the 5% significant level, you will have smaller than 0.05 at this point. So if you smaller than 0.05, what I mean? It is reject H naught because in favor of H1 because it is in the critical region. So if in this way, you can say that at 5% significant level, the claims that the probability that driving instructor pupils pass the first attempt is higher than 0.36 is supported, right? So the claim is supported, right? So for question 1, part 2. In fact, most of these random sample happen to be careful and sensible driver. State that which type of errors in the hypothesis test, type 1 or type 2, could have been made. Okay, so you refer to part 1. If you reject H naught, mean what? Reject H naught will be probability of, will be type what? Type 1 error. So type 1 error had been made based on part 1. Okay, and once you have this, question is asking you a sample of is used for the test. State which type and could have been made, and this and find the probability of type of the errors. So in order to find the type of error means you need to find the total type 1 error that can be happen. So the total type 1 error is the total region, the probability of the total region that you need to find. So you need to find the probability of the critical region. So just now we have found px larger equal to 7 is in the critical region. So now we need to proceed one more part. Okay, so in order to determine how large is the critical region, and from the critical region we know the probability. So now we proceed to the next step. So now just now is larger equal to 7, now is larger equal to 6. So you can use px equal to 6 plus just now px larger equal to 7, and once you calculate this, you should get 0.02925. So this still smaller than 0.05. Means if smaller means you still need to proceed one more step and see until larger. Larger means out already. Out already, then you can stop there. So now you need to proceed one more step to calculate this. So one more step is larger equal to 5. So it's x equal to 5 plus the outcome just now. So once you calculate this, you should get 0.1189. So this already larger than 0.05. So means you can stop here. Mean x from x equal to 5 is no longer in the critical region anymore. So now you can set your critical region. Your critical region is x larger equal to 6, right? So when x larger equal to 6, the probability of type 1 error will be probability of x larger equal to 6. So it's equal to 0.02925. So this is the type 1 error, the total possible of type 1 error for the cases. Okay, so this one for question 2. Now we proceed to question 3. Question 3. A hospital patient's white blood cell count as a Poisson distributions. Before undergoing treatment, that the patient have a mean white blood cell count of 5.2. After treatment of random measurement of patient white blood, the count is back and is used to test 10% of significant level, whether the mean white blood cell count has decreased. Okay, part 1. State what is the mean by type 1 error in the context of this question and find the probability of the type test result in a type 1 error. So, before we start, set the parameter first. So, because the question is give you an average of 5.2, so this is a Poisson. And your hypothesis, you need decrease or not, smaller. So now you can start to find now you can answer the question. Sorry, state what is the mean by type 1 error in the context. Type 1 error means you reject H naught. Okay, but actually it is true. Okay, so this is a general statement. You need to answer according to the context. So you reject H naught means when you say that the white blood cell count has decreased when it has not decreased. Okay, so you need to answer according to the context. I repeat again, you can say that the type 1 error happened when you say that the white blood cell count has decreased when it has not decreased. Okay, so this is for part 1, the explanation. So once you have stated the mean by this type 1 error, and you can find the probability of this type 1 error, and you have no choice, you may need to start from 0. Okay, or you can jump, depends on you, if you're very familiar of this question. Okay, so but please remember that you should from the lower end. So now I calculate from step by step. See, so I start from px equals 0, the lower end, the lowest end. So this is equal to 0.00516. So this is smaller than 0.1. So still in the critical region. Then I will proceed to the next step. So this is x equals 0 plus x equals to 1. And if you calculate this one equal to 0.03420, still smaller than 0.1. If this happens, you still need to proceed to one more step. Okay, so this one is x equal to 0 plus until x equal to 2. So you will get 0.1087 at this part. And if you take with the 10% significant level, actually this one larger than 0.1 already. Rather than 0.1 means this is not in the critical region anymore. So the probability of type 1 error will be equal to the probability of you in the critical region, right? So smaller or equal to 1. So means smaller equal to 1 means 0.0342. 0.0342 for part 1. 342. Okay, for part 2. For part 2, given that the measured value of white blood cell count after treatment is 2, carry out the test. Now you have 2. So ask yourself, is it 2 in the critical region or not? So I can say x equal to is not in, you can say in the critical region, or you can say not in the rejection region. They are same, right? You can say not in the critical rejection region, or you can say in the critical region. So if not in the critical region means hash not is not rejected, right? Is you, or you can say if not in the critical region, you can say reject hash 1 in favor of hash not also can. Okay, so you can say that there is no enough evidence of decrease in the mean white blood cell count after treatment, right? So you can say that this is the statement. The general one you can write, and please remember to write the final statement according to the context. The part 2, I repeat again, you can say there is no enough evidence of a decrease in the mean white blood cell count after the treatment. Okay, part 3. Find the probability of type 2 error if the mean white blood cell count after treatment is actually 4.1. Okay, so same things. Type 2 error mean accept hash note. Okay, based on the calculation above, when you will accept hash note, P X larger equal to 2, right? Smaller equal to 1, he will reject. Larger equal to 2, you will accept. So when you accept, then you need to calculate. Okay. So once you calculate, this is equal to 1 minus P X equal to 0. Plus Px equal to 1. So you should have 0.9154. 0.915. So this is the probability of type 2 error. Okay, don't forget you need to change the mean become 4.1. The lambda become 4.1 in your calculation. So your probability is equal to 0.915. Right, now we proceed to next question, the last question. Okay, next question. Question 4. In the past, the number of house sales completed per week by a building company has modeled by a random variables by Poisson 0.8. Following a publicity campaign, the builder hoped that the mean number of sales per week will increase in order to test 5% significant level. Whether this is the case, the total number of sales during the first 3 weeks after the campaign is not. It is assumed that the Poisson model is still appropriate. Okay, part 1. Given that the total number of sales during the 3 weeks is 5, carry out the test. Okay, for part 1. Per week is 0.8. For 3 weeks will be times 3, 2.4. So we need to convert the parameter to 2.4, and hash dot hash 1 lambda equal to 2.4, lambda larger than 2.4. Okay, so once you have this, then we can start to calculate the we can start to test. So because the question that we want to run is larger, so we test larger side 5. So this is equal to 1 minus px smaller than 5. Because the Poisson don't have the endpoint. This one you cannot skip. You have to write these things, and you simplify, you should get 0.9041, and you will get 0.0958 for this point. So this is larger than 0.5%, 0.5. So if larger than 0.05 means this is not in the critical region anymore. So if not in the critical region mean reject H1 in favor of H0. So you can say at 5% significant level, the claims that the mean number of cells has increased following the publicity campaign is not supported. You can say that, I repeat again, at 5% significant level, the claims that the mean number of cells has increased following the publicity campaign is not supported. Right, for question 1. Question 2. During the following 3 weeks, the same test is carried out. Again, using the same significant level, find the probability of type 1 error. Okay. So, for part 2, the probability of type 1 error will be the probability of you reject H0, right? So, when you will reject H0, just now, larger or equal to 5, you still accept H0. So you need to test the further step, see when you will reject H0. You will see which number is in the critical region. Now we go for the next one. Larger or equal to 6. So this one is equal to 1 minus px smaller than 6. Okay, so you need to show the details of calculation. So this one is equal to 1 minus 0.96431 and 0.03567, and this is smaller than 0.05. So when you calculate x larger equal to 6, this is in the critical region already, right? But x larger equal to 5 is not in the critical region. So in this situation, you can say that the probability of type 1 error is equal to px larger equal to 6. So it's equal to 0.0357 if you simplify. This is the probability of type 1 error. Part 3. Explain what is the mean by type 1 error in this context. Okay, so you know that the type 1 error is you reject H0, but actually H0 is correct. Okay, so how you can say about the question is asking you explain what is the mean by type 1 error in this context. Okay, you can say that you conclude the cells has increased even though it has not. Okay, you can say by making a type 1 error, you would conclude that the mean number of cells has increased even though it has not. Right? You may answer this question using different sentence, no issue, but you have the similar meaning is okay already. So this one for part 3. For part 4, state further information would be required in order to find the probability of type 2 error. So if you want to find the type 2 error, you need the the probability error is the probability of u except by h naught. Okay, so so this question actually is similar to the last part of the previous question. So you can say that to find the probability of making type 2 error, you will need to know the actual figure for the mean sales per week after the publicity. Means you need to know the lambda, that the actual lambda. Okay, so I repeat again, to find the probability of making type 2 error, you will need to know the actual figure for the mean sales per week after the publicity. So this is the requirement for you to find the type 2 error. So if you refer to previous question, you will notice that the question will say if actually the lambda is equal to what, or say if p equal to what. So for this question is lambda. If lambda equal to what is the probability of type 2 error? So these are the actual figure for you to calculate the type 2 error. Okay, so this is for part 4. So you need the actual figure for the mean sales per week after the publicity. Right, so this is the last question, and I will post an assignment for you to solve for today. So we have cleared the syllabus for the step 2, and the remaining weeks I will focus on the mechanics one. Right, meanwhile I did not give you a lot of homework, so focus your force in the past year booklet. Try to clear as much as you can, as we have cleared all the syllabus of step 2. I think you should able to solve all question. Okay, and start for next class I will focus on mechanics. We try to clear the mechanics as soon as possible. Alright, okay, thank you.